Hi guys, welcome to another episode of On the Line. I'm your host Sally Christopher, and today I have with me two new guests.
Kirk Wilson.
Ethan Moore.
So I'm just gonna ask a lot of questions, and you guys are gonna answer them. First, I want to ask, how did you get into wrestling?
I was born into it, wrestled my whole life. My brother did it first, and then my dad got me into it when I was like 3 years old, and just never stopped wrestling since.
That's interesting. What about you, Ethan?
So when I was a kid, I wasn't into it as much when I was really young. I kind of got more into it as I grew like 4 or 5. But when I was younger, my dad taught me a couple things just because he wrestled college and whatnot, so he taught me a couple little things. And then I first probably stepped onto the mat when I was 5-ish, maybe 4. And ever since then, I've kind of just loved it. There was, for a while, in between 6th through 7th grade, I didn't do it because it was I didn't like it at the time. The coach we got at the club I was at when I was little, I didn't like him at all, so I ended up quitting, and then I redid it when I did 8th grade.
Okay, that's interesting. Guys, what did you like most about wrestling so far?
Just the discipline, and then having to have motivation through cutting weight, because when you're cutting weight, your morale's down, and you just have to have a strong mental game to make it through this season, because how long it is, it's dreadful.
That's good. What about you, Ethan?
I agree with that a lot. The whole morale thing is a super big thing for me. I love how you have to just keep a positive mindset, and it just, even out a wrestling season, it trains you just to have that positive mindset. And then the other thing I love about it is that it's a more of an individual sport per like the wrestling match, but the team bonding you get through those tough practices and through all the same, like you all feel the same while cutting, just makes a strong bond. It's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm guessing your team like helps you guys a lot during cutting season and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like what mentality do you guys have during practice, during cutting, like just during, not tournaments yet, but like during practice and things
Just
like
to
that?
get better. That's all. At practice, everyone just looks to get better. With the new coaching staff this year, we should see a lot of improvement with a lot of the young kids coming in. So,
Yeah. What inspires you guys most? Like, who or what inspires you guys?
my dad, because he was the first, ever since 3, he's always been there, took me places, out of state. Yeah. A lot of money spent.
Did your dad wrestle too, or?
He wrestled when he was younger, but he wasn't really good at it. But my brother was into wrestling, so he's been coaching for probably over 20 so years, so he knows a lot.
That's cool. What about you, Ethan?
For me, it's more been, I would agree my dad, because he was like college and whatnot. He's the one that led me into wrestling. And he's taught me quite a fair amount. He's taught me a lot about like weight cut and the mindset you need and all of that good stuff. So my dad's a good portion of it. And then I want to say myself too, just so I can be a better like person, better like mindset, better everything, just to keep me being that better version of myself.
Yeah, so like how has wrestling shaped you guys as a person? Because like I wonder if it like has a big impact on your life off and on the mat.
Yes, it really does, because to wrestle, you have to have a lot of discipline, and discipline comes throughout your whole life, being able to keep yourself grounded, not always working, trying to get better. It's just, you can use that throughout your whole life, school and everything, working on your grades, working on getting better at wrestling, working on better friend groups, everything, finding new friends, yeah.
I agree with that too. It like shapes the way you think, the way you act. It makes you, I want to say it makes you more mature, just because you have to endure so much. And then it also teaches you so much to work and like develop the little things, just to make you want to do the little things right. That'll snowball and make the bigger things be even more perfect.
Yeah, so you've talked about your new coach and about discipline. Tell us about your new coach.
Cameron Riggs, he's coming from St. Cloud University. He graduated a couple of years ago. Hard coach. He's going to make practices are going to be harder. He's a lot harder on the kids, I feel like. and it's just going to make our team better in general. So
Mm. So about cutting, like how do you guys feel about cutting?
it
Like, do
sucks.
you just starve yourself, or do you like go on a diet, like a better meal plan?
Well, it just depends when you start cutting, because if you start too late, then you just can't eat, take hot baths the dirty way. Otherwise, start early and then you can just be on a diet plan and it's way easier to make weight. But it sucks either
Yeah.
way.
What about you?
Yeah, it's, I mean, whatever any wrestler tells you, it's true. Cutting is, in my opinion, the worst part of the sport. And honestly, one of the only bad things of the sport. Besides the conditioning, that's a little sucky too. But then if you, like you said, if you plan in advance, then it'll be a lot easier because you can do those just like better meal plans. But then if you try to cut a lot closer to the season, then you're just going to be on that where you're not eating anything and then doing the dirty way, like you said, like trash bag runs, sauna, sleeping with all your sweatpants and whatnot. It's terrible.
Do you think like kids work better and wrestle better if they don't cut and they just like wrestle a higher weight class?
It really depends on your skill level, because if you're cutting weight, it's normally so you can face people your same strength, because you've been eating and you're not at your peak physique. But if you're a good enough wrestler, it's just you can wrestle whatever you want. It's going to be harder because they're going to have more strength, because most every wrestler is cutting some weight. So if you're up in a weight class, they're going to be some bigger kids, harder to wrestle.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Ethan?
Yeah, I agree with that heavily because when you are trying to cut down, the whole point is you can remain that like same muscle mass and have the same strength, but so you can wrestle the lighter weight. But if you're wrestling just the weight you are wrestling what you weigh, then you're gonna be wrestling the kids that have like the more body fat or whatever as you, and then you just have to kind of deal with it. You're gonna be bigger sometimes.
Yeah.
It's kind of suck.
So what are you guys' hobbies outside of wrestling?
I don't got much, but probably just hanging out with friends, eating food when I'm not wrestling. That's about it.
What about you, Ethan?
I agree with that. Hanging out with friends is a super big thing. I like spending time with my family, the people I love. And then, yeah, eating food whenever you don't have to cut weight. It's amazing. One of the best feelings ever.
You guys eat unhealthy off season?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
100%.
So do you guys wrestle like all year round or just during school season?
I wrestle all year round. I've been to a lot of tournaments over the summer, cutting a lot of weight, but it's fun. It's just off-season wrestling is actually way harder than high school wrestling, in my opinion, because you face people from completely different states. You get the new competition, and it's just a lot.
So, Kirk, you made it to state like how many years in a row?
2 right now.
In a row. And
Yeah.
have you had other ones you've made to state, or is it just 2 years in a row?
Made it, well, in high school I made it 2 years in a row, but in youth I made it to state every single year. I won state 3 times in youth. Yeah.
So, how do you focus throughout like all of this work you have to do, wrestling, and then your social life and your family life, school life, and then state, because you've been in state a lot?
It's actually really hard, like, because when I'm cutting weight, I get in a little worse mood, and it actually messes up some of my relationships with my family. Not like messes them up, but puts some barriers in between us, because I have an attitude, and my parents kind of have learned just to leave me alone when I'm cutting weight, because it can start some things.
Yeah. What about you, Ethan?
What was your question? Sorry, I didn't.
Like, how do
kinda
you
elaborated.
focus with like your wrestling life
okay.
and social life and school life?
So I think it gets really hard too, because when you have to do all your things for wrestling, like cut, and then you have to focus on like doing all of it right, getting better, and you have to, obviously prep for whatever next tournament event you got ahead of you, then it gets really hard because those relationships, there's obviously just going to be those blockers because you aren't able to think around as much. And then it puts some strain on them, That would be a good way to put it. But I wouldn't say it super negatively affects it, because I usually am able to balance it out, but there's some times when it just gets a little tough.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I understand where you guys are coming from. So, do you guys think that wrestling is like the best sport in the world?
Oh yeah, for sure. It
Yeah.
just the wrestling, it shapes you as a person. It makes you so disciplined where you're just always looking to get better at things, always looking to learn from new people, and that you can take that into the real world too. Like being able, once you're in work when you're older, the higher people that they tell you something to do, and you gotta listen because they know more than you. So, and if you don't listen, it's not
Yeah.
how you're gonna get better at anything.
Yeah. What about you, Ethan?
Yeah, I think it's the best sport in the world too, and it comes from like that same stuff. The values that you develop on and off the mat, they're gonna stick with you on and off the mat. So whatever you develop and whatever values you acquire from wrestlings, and that includes like your work ethic, your mindset, all of that, it's gonna affect you later on. Like Kirk said, in the workplace, that'll help with your mindset, making you want to be there, want to work, want to show out, do your best. And then it'll just help in general, just make you be a better person.
Yeah. Do you believe that it's like harder than every other sport though? Like
Oh.
conditioning and all of that?
Yeah, there's no other sport harder besides maybe MMA because that's combined with wrestling and everything. But high school level, wrestling is the hardest sport for sure. No other sport it's so physically demanding even when you're cutting weight. Not most people can do that.
Yeah. What about you? Same?
I agree 100%. It's the most physically taxing sport in all of high school. And there are kids that are in different sports that'll tell you different. If you put a kid from that sport into our sport and have them try to do the things we do, they might get through, but it'll be tough.
Have you like ever
Watch 'em
gotten in
struggle.
an argument with people that think wrestling is not better than
I
other
did
sports?
like 2 days ago. They said
Oh.
soccer was harder than wrestling. Yeah, no.
Get out. How's that even? Anyway, so like, how do you guys practice for state and district and all of that? You just like
Uh,
drill hard, or
Well, once it gets closer to state, you're working on getting everything you're good at to perfect. Well, close as you can to perfect. You're never going to be perfect, but you got to peak at the right time at the end of year. You want to be the best you can at state, and yeah.
what about you?
Yeah, it's just as you wrestle and as you get closer to those big events and whatnot, just developing the little things and then working on whatever you're good at, making it all closest to perfect as you can, as Kirk said. And then making sure that you just maintain whatever weight you're on and trying to get down to that weight. And if you're not there yet, that's a bad deal.
Yeah. How do you guys celebrate your wins for when like you win matches and all
Well,
that?
it really depends on the opponent I'm facing because if it's someone that's I know not going to really give me that hard of a match, it's just another match. But once I'm in those hard matches at state or like those out of state tournaments, it makes you feel good after you win those matches. Give my dad a hug, just celebrate with my friends. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think I'm gonna use that as well. What about you?
Yeah, no, that's super true. I agree with that. When you win those hard matches, that's when you're like super hyped. You feel like you can do anything in the world. And then when you win those like easier matches, it's like, oh, it's just another one. You got to wait for the next one to come up. Make sure you win that too.
Yeah.
The way I like celebrating is going and eating whatever food I had to not eat before the tournament. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for giving us all this information. You're really helping out people. You're really helping people understand wrestling more. And we're all grateful that you guys were able to come on the show. And thank you for joining us.
thank you.
Join us for another episode of On the Line. Thank you for listening.